Are you a jack of all trades? I'm Cam, the master of none. Welcome to my channel. So today I have another juicy story for you guys. And this one is scary. No, not really. So I thought I should share another story with you guys because I think there's a lot of value in my experience and I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to shop safely online. So this is the story of how I almost lost all my savings to a new online store that I thought was legit, but actually turned out that I don't really know still. But let me get into the story. So it all started when I needed to get myself and my queen over here a new phone. So both our phones were already messed up. I had an iPhone SE, the first iPhone SE when Steve Jobs was still around. That thing was completely messed up. Yeah. The screen was all cracked, half this touchscreen wasn't working, and my wife's phone was also switching off randomly and stuff. So we both needed a new phone. And I went to do my research online. I looked at all the tech guys that I follow. I'll share some of the links of some of my favorites down below. I found a phone that I was really interested in. It was actually the phone that I use right now. It's my daily driver. It's the Redmi Note 10 Pro. So I found this phone on the store called Mr. Shopper, and it looked legit, right? I've created my own online stores before, and I know how difficult it is to put up new content, to put up good pictures, put in a good description, make it look nice, make it sort of informative enough that somebody would see the product and be like, yeah, I want to buy it. So I looked at it and it looked good. Those are some of the first telltale signs, but I'll get into some of the tips that I have to tell you guys how to shop safely online. I saw the phone and I thought, okay, but I don't know the store. I've never heard of it. I've never heard anyone speak about it, but they had a lot of products and it looked like a really good price. So I thought, okay, let me see if the store is legit. So I started to dive a little deeper. I looked for social media. They had some social media, but some of the posts were a little old. So I thought, okay, I know social media is a little bit difficult to keep up with because making content and stuff while trying to run a store is a little difficult. So I gave them a pass on that one. I looked for an address, and they didn't have an address listed, so I thought, okay, maybe not. And then one of the important things that you have to consider when you're buying online is looking at how you pay for things. So I looked at the checkout page and I saw PayFast. I know the company PayFast, so I thought, okay, this might be legit because I know PayFast. So just before I bought, I was still not 100% sure, so I looked for a contact number. Got the contact number, I called the number, and it was a bit of a call center vibe. They ask you to press one somewhere, you press one, and then you go to someone in sales. And I didn't wait very long and I had someone answer the phone. So I thought, okay, maybe this is legit. So I asked them, hi, I see this phone on your store. Do you have stock of it at the moment? I just wanted to be sure. And the lady that answered said, yes, they have multiple items in stock. So I thought, okay, great. So I got someone on the phone. The store looked really good. They did pay for Google ads because, when you Google for products, usually those first products on the top, they're all paid ads, just by the way, if you didn't know that. So I thought, okay, so they paid for ads. It's gotta be relatively low risk. But I also had some confidence, the fact that I could get my money back, and I'll get into that later. So I ended up buying 2 phones. Yeah, expensive. Again, I seem to spend a lot of money. With no sponsorships, by the way. This video is not sponsored by any of the companies that I've mentioned. All my money. I'm trying to help you not lose your money, because I almost lost mine. Oh, and let me just take a step back. I also looked at reviews. I looked at Google reviews, I looked at Hello Peter, I looked at Trustpilot, and the reviews were a bit mixed. Some reviews were like, oh, they never got the product, but eventually they got refunded. So I thought, okay, at least they got refunded, so I'm not gonna lose my money. And then some people said, oh, they waited 3 months, but eventually they got it and it was great. Some people said they got it, no problem, and the product was great. And then, of course, there were some that said, this is a scam. But I thought there were enough people that at least got their money back, or got their product but late, or just got their product and loved it. I thought there was a decent enough balance that maybe with a new online store, they had some issues and the bad reviews came out of that. So I gave them another pass on that. I wanted the phones for us for Christmas, and I ordered the phones 3 months before. So it was around October, sort of around there. And I thought that'll give enough time that if the product's late, at least we'll get some new phones, because we also needed new phones, you know. The wait began, and a month went by. No messages. The tracking link never really changed. I was freaking out a little bit. I was thinking, okay, maybe this is not going to work out. I decided I'm going to give them a call. Nobody is answering. I keep getting this automated message, and then I thought, okay, did I make a big mistake? I went online and Googled the company again, and turns out a whole bunch of people had the same idea I did and tried to buy Christmas gifts at a really good price before Christmas time. And the reviews were racking up in the 1-star range. And I was like, oh man, did I just lose all my savings? Yeah. But never fret when you got the tech guy on your side. Because I remembered that they use PayFast Payment Gateway. And let me just talk to you guys a little bit about payment gateways. Now, a lot of people don't really understand how payment gateways work. You just know that you can pay via EFT, you can pay via credit card, whatever they list on the store. But a lot of these stores don't have direct links to the banks. You know, they don't have direct credit card systems built into their website. 99% of online stores, even big stores like Amazon and Takealot in South Africa, will use a payment gateway that gives you all the options. They'll give you EFTs, they'll give you credit cards, they'll give you debit cards, they'll give you PayPal, all kinds of ways to pay, but it's all packaged in one product. So you'll just plug in a payment gateway like PayFast or Stripe, and then they'll give you all the payment stuff that you need. So PayFast and Stripe, for example, won't just let any company put their payment gateway on their store. They will usually have very strict rules about what type of store will be able to use their system. So they will get information from you. They'll make sure that you're a registered company. They'll make sure you have a business bank account. You know, they really make an effort to make sure that the online stores are legit. They don't want to have the reputation of having all these shady stores use their system. So usually they will really grill you. And I've went through the experience. I ended up going through the process of registering with PayFast once, setting up my own online store, and it was quite a process. It took a few weeks. They grilled us quite hard on whether you're registered, whether you have a business bank account, what products you sell, how much sales you make, etc. So I had some confidence knowing that I used a store that uses PayFast. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll give them a little bit more time. So I waited another few weeks, and those few weeks went by. I didn't hear anything back. I tried to contact the contact numbers that were available on their site. I tried to use the WhatsApp number that they had. I tried to use Instagram. I tried to use Facebook page. I tried to use YouTube comments. They had a YouTube channel, interestingly enough. But like the last videos they posted were in 2012. So didn't have high hopes, but I thought I'll try anyway. I did get one response on WhatsApp where the person asked for my order number, and then I tried to send them the order number, but I didn't get a response for like 5 days after that. So I thought, okay, I don't think that the store is going to get back to me. I can't get through to anyone on the phone, so I thought, okay, let me contact PayFast. So this is something that you guys can do if you try to order from an online store that you're not familiar with, or that is a little smaller or something like that. Contacted PayFast, and I got through to customer service, and I said, guys, I ordered from the stores, one of your merchants. That's what they call them. All the stores that use PayFast for their payment gateways, they call them merchants. So I said, I use one of your merchants to buy a product, and it's been almost 2 months now. I have not received anything. Please, can you help me out? I'm scared that I've lost my money. They were like, no problem, sir. Let me just do some checking. Waited on hold for a few minutes. So then what they do is they look for the standard maximum shipping period. And the shipping period with these guys was like crazy. It was like 3 months or something like that. But they said, okay, sir, we can arrange for a refund or make contact with the merchant, but you have to wait for the full shipping period that's listed on the website before they could make contact with them and find out what's going on. So I said no problem. That was probably another 3 more weeks or so. So I said no problem, I'll just wait. So I waited for those 3 weeks and 1 day, and then I contacted PayFast again, because of course couldn't get through to anyone online, couldn't get through to anyone on WhatsApp or on the phone. So I contacted PayFast again. I said, hey guys, I've waited the full period. I haven't heard anything back from the company. I would prefer to get a refund because I don't trust them. So they said, no problem, sir, we'll make contact with the merchant and they'll get back to me within 2 business days. I got a call the next day from the lady that helped me. She said they made a contact with Mr. Shopper. The person said that they couldn't get the product, so can they just send a refund? And they asked me, are you happy with the refund instead of receiving the product? I said yes. And a few days later, I got my money back. Thank goodness. Imagine losing all your savings before Christmas. That would suck. So, what is the point of this nice story, guys? I'm sure you're thinking, that's a nice story.
That's a nice story.
Well, I thought that a lot of people might not know all the steps that I took to make sure that the risk was relatively low, even if the store looked legit, but it turned out that it wasn't. You might know some of these things, but there's some things that I think you might not know about or that you might not have thought about that can really help you shop safely online. So the first thing, and I'm sure you guys with intuition would already start using this, is don't use a store that isn't built very well. Now, I'm not talking about aesthetics, like maybe the shop is a little outdated or whatever, but the things that I would say are not good or not a very well-built store are things where descriptions are weak. You've got 1 or 2 lines. Maybe you've got 1 picture on a product. Yeah, look at how many products they have in the store. The more products they have usually is a good sign because it does take a lot of effort to set all those products up. So I would say the build of the website is a good sign. Look at how well they've set up the products, whether they have sales, whether they have other pages like an About Us page, a Contact Us page, those sort of things. I think this aesthetic in general, everyone has their own preference and you never know who's building that website. It could be somebody that has a very sort of dated vision of their website. That's not necessarily a way to kick that store out. For example, EveTech, which is a really popular online store for PC components and laptops. They have, in my opinion, a bit of a dated style, but they are a legit store. So I wouldn't judge it based on an outdated style, but more about how well the products are listed, how well they're set up, how many pictures they have, whether the description is good, spelling mistakes, those sort of things. And spelling mistakes do happen, so I'm not saying you see 1 spelling mistake and kick them out completely. It's like if you see many glaring spelling mistakes across the whole page, then I would say that's a red flag. And then getting into payment gateways, that's the second tip. Look for a payment gateway. The 2 big payment gateways that I know of in South Africa, that's PayFast and Peach Payments. Those 2 payment gateways have a good reputation, they've been around a long time, they're well renowned, and internationally, Stripe Payments is the one that I know of. They are big and most online stores will want to even use them because they're so good. So look for the payment gateways. Remember, with Payment Gateway, they will not just let you put their payment system in your website. They will grill you and make sure that you are a legit store. They're going to make sure that you have a business registered, that you have a business bank account, that you have products that they think are good products. They're not going to let you sell contraband, drugs or something shady like that. Yeah, so they're going to make sure that you sell products that make sense. They're going to ask you, what type of store are you? Are you a health store? Are you a general online store? Are you a computer techie, electronic store? Those sort of things. So look out for the payment gateways. So how you look out for that is when you go to the checkout page, you'll see just before you buy that there'll be a couple of little icons where you see Visa, Maestro, PayPal, those sort of things. And you should see a little logo that either says something like PayFast or Stripe or Peach Payments. And if it's not one that I've mentioned in this video, just Google the name, check them out. If it looks like a legit payment gateway, then you can probably trust them. The third thing I would say is look for contact information. Look for social media pages, look for contact numbers, look for email addresses. And before you buy anything, if you don't know the store, make contact with them, reach out, and if they're a legit online store, they will make an effort to message you back and say, yes, we'd like you to buy the stuff from us. The stuff is here, So I would say call the phone number that's available. Check if they have stock of the product. Even if you already know from their website, just call and make sure that you get in contact with a human being. And then fourth, you guys probably already do this, look for reviews. Look for Google reviews, look for reviews on Hello Peter, Trustpilot, all of those. Try and get a sense of the reviews. And you could see that in my explanation of the reviews that I looked at for Mr. Shopper, it was a bit mixed, but there were some good ones and some bad ones. And sometimes with a new online store, especially if you've got a lot of new customers and you maybe only 5 or 6 people trying to run this online store, it can be really difficult. So you might get a couple of unhappy customers because maybe they slipped through the cracks and, or like the product just didn't get there on time, etc. So bad reviews aren't always a bad thing, but if the bad reviews have a really telltale pattern. For example, with Mr. Shopper, the second time I looked at reviews after I placed an order, I could see that the reviews were all around the area of I didn't receive my money, I lost all my money. So look for those things. And I think those are the 4 important tips that I can tell you to look out for. You might think, why would I even bother telling you to look for a new online store? Why not tell you to go to Amazon? Why would I not tell you to go to Takealot, to ball.com, whatever? Why would I tell you not to look at those big online stores? The main thing I'm trying to do here is open your eyes to the fact that you might be able to save some money with these smaller stores, and helping a small business like a small online store grow can really introduce good competition, because when you have one big store that has the monopoly, they're going to charge whatever they want to charge for a product, and then you're stuck paying the price that they decide. But if you introduce new competition, those companies have to compete and have competitive pricing, and then you benefit as the customer by getting competitive pricing. And I can give you another example of another store that I used. Back in South Africa, I ordered a recipe book that I couldn't find anywhere else. It was called Indian Delights, and I used a store called Made in Durban. And that store is a really small online store. They have really great prices for their products. They've got food, they've got books, things like that. But they're a small store. So because they're small, they're trying to compete with these big companies and the walk-in stores. They had really good prices, and they had a great price for this book because other prices that I saw for this book was really high, and this price was great. So I decided to give them a try, and I saw that they use PayFast, so I had some confidence in them already. So I ordered it, and these small businesses are usually so grateful for an order, and this store was one of them, that they actually sent me like little goodies with the order. They sent me a pair of socks, they sent me like a little discount code, those sort of things. So you might get a lot of value from ordering from a small online store or a small business, and you have no idea how appreciative they will be. And in the long run, you'll benefit from competition in the market. So that is my story of how I almost lost all my savings to Mr. Shopper and how I got it back. And I hope that this will encourage you to try out new online stores, because remember, the first few stores you're going to see on Google are usually paid ads, and that's not really fair to some of these smaller businesses that don't have the money to spend on Google ads. So if you just scroll a little bit past that list of products at the beginning of the Google search, you might find a little online store that has a really great price, and maybe you'll get a free pair of socks like I did. But that's it from me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys found it valuable and found it informative. Let me know in the comments below if you guys would like me to share a video on how to research products online. I have a lot of important tips on how to know what information to trust, what information is good, what information might be misleading you. And I can use the example of me researching for the phone that I use right now as my daily driver. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to hit that subscribe button and that like button. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps me out a lot, and it can help you get more of this type of content. That's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next one.